All right, guys. So we are here today, back again. Um, Fed rate decision was yesterday. Uh, so we'll see what we get today. Like we've been trying to get funded on this challenge account for a minute here, so I'll put this up on screen and just kind of show you what we're doing on this one. We had to reset it yesterday, and since it's early, we're just going to play with this before we trade on our actual funded account. You can see the SPY was red originally. Bitcoin sitting just under lifetime highs here. Let me put all this stuff up on screen. We'll get some music playing also here. Do you guys like the zoomed out version? I mean, all right. Remember, understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical simulator performance have limitations. Not an investment professional, not liable if you lose. You always got to make your own assessment. We do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. So the Fed cut rates yesterday, 25 basis points, overwhelmingly expected. We've been telling people for freaking months that that's what they were going to do. Yet for some reason, did I make a bet with somebody that they weren't going to raise rates or something like that? I made some type of bet with somebody where they were like, somebody bet me that they were going to pause again, that they weren't going to cut rates for the rest of this year or something like that. And I told them it was kind of not the smartest prediction, but they did it anyway. And like now, so yeah, so what kind of earnings do we have this morning? I think we have something, right? We've got CGC, we've got Sony, Icon. A lot of stuff mixed results here. You can call him dummy. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I'm sure. I mean, look, this is kind of how it goes. Bitcoin sitting just under lifetime highs, though. Yeah, I can't remember what it was. But again, the overarching point of this today, guys, is freaking stop betting on super unrealistic outcomes of Fed meetings, right? Like, there's no reason to bet on that stuff. It's dumb. It's not smart. Like, anybody that understands economics should understand what they're going to do, right? Like, anybody that understands economics should understand they're not about to pause rates yesterday, like anybody that understands economics. The problem is you got a bunch of day traders out here trying to like predict economics like it's somehow the same thing, and it's not. All right, chat. Yeah, I'm trying to be patient here. Like, we're in this position. I'll just let it work. That's why trading news and earnings is a really bad idea. Honestly, it's very predictable, to be completely honest here. Like, all of this stuff's very, very predictable. Like, we told you guys what was going to happen prior to this happening. Yeah. All right. we're sitting here, loving life, waiting for something to happen now. We're in the NASDAQ. The SPY we recently went green. The NASDAQ's kind of coming down a little bit. We're now slightly green on this position. But I'm going to try to take longer term range bound trades today now. Like I'm going to try. Yeah, we don't know how the market's going to react to any of that stuff. And that's why it's important not to, you know, like, again, I've said it before, experienced traders are not definitive in their predictions because nobody freaking knows if we're going to have good, bad market reaction, all that stuff. So nobody freaking knows, right? And so making anything definitive is silly. It's ridiculous, you know. All right, so we're kind of flat here. I see a small pullback, but we also have a 5-minute chart up, and we're trying to take longer term trades now. We're trying to take longer term trades. And so, yeah, we're just going to sit tight. I would add to this, but again, we got 2 contracts here. We're not going to take a big trade. We're trying to take longer term trades. We're flat. So there's about 1,100 workers at the Toledo, Ohio Jeep plant facing layoffs as the company tries to reduce inventory. About 1,100 workers at the Stellantis Jeep factory in Toledo, Ohio facing layoffs early next year. Basically, Jeep's laying off some people. Stellantis said Thursday that the Toledo South plant, it's the one responsible for the Jeep Gladiator midsize pickup truck, will go from 2 daily shifts, transitioning to 1 as early as next year on January 5th. Sales of the Gladiator, the pickup truck version of the Wrangler, down over 20% so far. The numbers were 36,519 according to Motor Intelligence, and they said, quote, "These are difficult actions to take, but they are necessary to enable the company to regain its competitive edge and eventually return to production." So yeah, that's what's going on with Jeep right now. Is Jeep, let me see. Yeah, I don't know. Jeep. I've got 4 big monitors. Who's buying lithium? Yeah, well, they can't fire them, really. Like, that's not even like a, again, people that are saying that are just emotional and they don't really understand economics or they don't really understand the Federal Reserve and like what they're allowed to do and not do, Like, we got a slide green. Oh, Chrysler's Jeep. Sorry, that's what I'm forgetting here. Chrysler's Jeep. Somebody saying, anybody know of a 20-year corporate bond fund? I'm sure there are some, but yeah, it's a Chrysler is what it is. That's what I should have remembered. It's all right. All right, so now we got a nice little... I'm taking a longer term trade here is what I want. I'm going to go ahead and unload half of it, though, and then we're going to keep one contract for the long run, the long haul here. That's what the plan is so far. Again, we don't really have much going on today. We got consumer sentiment, prelim consumer sentiment data. We got, like, Michelle Bowman speaking on later. Next week, we got CPI, PPI. Honestly, the interest has been pretty like low. Right. Another interesting thing is, like, I don't know if it's because of the election, but it's kind of thrown a lot of stuff off from what I see here. It's thrown a lot of stuff off, specifically because, like, the JOLTS report was on the 29th, so typically it would mirror that, right? This next JOLT report, for whatever reason, like, a lot of them are coming out into the first week of hey, there we go. I'm going to add one contract to this. There we go. Take a piece off, locked it in. Slowly scaling this account up. But yeah, the economic data has just been strangely scheduled, to be honest here. All right, we're going to go and cut the rest. So I think we had a nice little string. We're green on the day. I'm pretty sure you can use NinjaTrader, but I'm not 100% sure you want to check with them. I use TopStep X. TopStep X is the best edge that you're going to find on TopStep, to be completely honest. Why? It's because TopStep X gives you 0 commissions and only a tiny amount of fees per trade versus anywhere else. Well, Congress is not the president. You know, the president's not going to move it. They could do it radical, but it would be one of the only times in history it's ever happened, and that's just incredibly unlikely. Like, if Powell made some big drastic mistakes, maybe, but, you know, if not allowed to grapple, use takedowns or submission moves, the BJJ doesn't exist. So yeah, we're sitting tight. We're waiting here. Nasdaq's up a little bit too much for me to want to buy it. If you look at NVIDIA's monthly chart, you see a vertical line. Well, sure, Felipe, but if you look at NVIDIA's EPS and revenue, it changes on a long-term chart. You see a vertical line as well, right? So it's not like NVIDIA's just up so much based off of no justification in earnings, right? Like, NVIDIA is earning a lot more now than it was 2-3 years ago. And so NVIDIA is going up because it's making more money right now because of AI technology and you know, microchips. So it's not like, if NVIDIA was up a bunch and its earnings didn't increase much, at least not in a parallel way, that would be one thing. But the earnings have increased in a parallel way along with the share price. And so maybe we're extended. I'm not saying we're not extended. I'm just saying it's not like, you know, for the past 2 years straight, people have been telling me NVIDIA was extended. And a funny thing happens throughout this period of time. NVIDIA just keeps going up. And so I think people see stocks go up and they immediately assume that they're extended. And I don't think that's always the case. I think especially like growth stocks like NVIDIA, which has obviously been growing over the past 3 or 4 years, it's earning more money now. Its EPS went up. Its revenue certainly increased in this period of time. And so I think you just have to, you know, understand all that. I guess my point is, I don't know if NVIDIA is going to pull back or correct or anything like that. What I do know is that NVIDIA's EPS and revenue followed it up some. We got Michigan consumer sentiment data at 10. We don't have any job data today, really. Honestly, it's a kind of a strange month for markets here. So like, I'm looking at some of the reports that we got. We got some stuff this month. In 2 weeks, we've got Nvidia earnings on the 20th, which is the single biggest market event. It's going to be on Wednesday, the 20th. It's the single biggest market event this whole month over everything else. We got GDP data. Yeah, so we got, okay. Okay, so Wednesday. All right, so it looks like they updated it. Or no, they do have core PC at 10 a.m. What? Y'all tell me what y'all see. What do y'all see for the date of Thursday, November 28th? Or no, I'm sorry. What do y'all see for Wednesday, November 27th? Right? Because what I see is a very strange thing. So like we have GDP and PCE coming out the same day. Typically it goes GDP one day, PCE the next, right? When I'm looking at a couple different sources, when I'm looking at a couple different sources, uh, 11/27 to be exact, I'm showing GDP. Okay, maybe the calendars are just off. So we got GDP and PCE dropping same day, which is rare. Typically, it goes GDP Wednesday, PCE Thursday, and then something Friday, but that's just not what we get. And then we got payroll data the next week, but let's see. We got the interest rate decision. Today we got Michigan consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. Next week we got CPI, inflation, big report, massive report. Where's Powell at, bro? Powell hadn't been speaking much. You know, there might be a blackout period. All right, so we're going to start buying this dip one contract at the NASDAQ here. Just one. We might add to it if we need to here. Just going to buy one dip, see if we get anything good. Kind of still in this range. We'll take two now. Thanksgiving holiday short trading week. Yeah, that's what it is. So Thanksgiving is the Friday after. Next week's very busy. Aside from Monday and Tuesday, we got like CPI, PPI, retail sales, Philly Fed Index, jobless claims, bunch of stuff. The FOMC minutes is November 26th. What's even stranger, listen to that, man. That's a very strange. Wow. Okay. So typically, guys, like, so one of the things we normally see is we see the Fed meeting, and then 3 weeks after the Fed meeting, we get the Fed minutes report. The Fed minutes report is coming in early this month, right? It's coming in at Tuesday, November 26th. That's pretty early. Am I wrong? Wait, let me see. So 14 would be 1 week. 21 would be 2 weeks. 28 would be 3 weeks. So it's a little bit early on the 26th. I guess because it's Thanksgiving week, November 27th. We got GDP, durable goods orders, and a bunch of stuff. And then Thursday, nothing. And I think Friday the market's closed, huh? Oh no, don't do it to me. All right, so we're down now. Yeah, we're just going to cut it and get out. We're pretty much flat on this account, though. This is a challenge account, so we're just playing with it. Pretty big little retracement there. Wow. you short the euro? No. A finance guru shorts Nvidia around 35 and he's still holding his position. Well, that's stubbornness. That's just pure stubbornness. Like shorting Nvidia is silly. Holding on to a short is sillier. And so you got to admit when you're wrong in trading. That's just somebody that doesn't want to admit you're wrong. Admit they're wrong. Yeah, so we got Powell. Does Powell speak? All right, so Powell speaks on November 14th. Next Thursday. Interesting. So yeah, Powell speaks on November 13th, next Thursday. Which is also PPI inflation data day, which is even more interesting. Federal Reserve, latest release. Is this right? Let me see. I'm reading something. Let me check for November. I haven't really checked November. I can check their calendar here. Yes. So Powell speaks Thursday at market close. Next Thursday at market close. I'm excited for Powell speeches, to be honest. I like Powell speeches. Is coffee getting expensive? I haven't noticed if it has. I really genuinely just don't know. I buy organic coffee because if I'm going to drink something every day, I need it to be healthy. What do you think about my question, John? I'm reading it now, Frost. What's your question, brother? Here, our banks closed on Monday. I wanted to ask you what you thought about Powell's speech. I thought it was very neutral. I thought he got a little spicy during when he was asked about resignation potential. But I thought it was a little spicy. But I didn't mind. I thought it was pretty neutral overall. I think the market reacted fairly positively to it too, to be honest. But I think the market's mostly neutral from the Powell speech. I don't think we moved a ton from it. To be completely real, I don't think we've moved a lot. I think it's been fairly neutral and kind of boring of a reaction to the speech, you know. I thought that was one of the slowest FOMC meetings we've had in a year plus. I really do. I think it was a very boring. The turnout was low, not just with me, but everywhere. Like universally, the turnout was low. Not that much attention, and that kind of mirrors this last like month. Like maybe the election has kind of distracted everybody. I don't know, but turnout's been pretty freaking low to me, in my opinion. What do you guys think? What do you think about Rivian? Rivian's okay. You know, I certainly don't think I don't think betting on Rivian's long-term health is super predictable. I think the better signs of Rivian are that like it had Amazon backing it in a lot of places. But I also think there's risks. And so I think Rivian could be a big name in EVs. I also think it could be a risky name in EVs. And yeah, you just got to be smart and careful with it. Pinterest dip. I had to miss it due to a surprise visit from friends. No, all good. Again, I'm not mad at anybody. It's not like my channel. I looked all around, right? All around. And really, I got more views than most people covering it. If you look at it, but like, it was just slow. It kind of boring. Not a lot. You know, very kind of slow, boring, neutral. I think everybody, you know, it's one of those things where if there's a big disparity, or if there's a range of possible outcomes that are probable, that's one thing, right? But if it's overwhelmingly probable that we're going to do it, you know, that we're going to cut, if it's overwhelmingly probable that we're going to cut, you know, 25 basis points and everybody knows that's what we're going to do, like that's a different thing. You know what I mean? Like that's just a different thing. CLSK. I don't know much about CLSK, to be honest. What do you guys think we're getting? We got Michigan consumer sentiment data today, so that'll be fun to watch and see if we get something good. Supermicro Semiconductors. Let's take a look at it. I mean, I know it's had a really tough time. It had earnings. You know, it's back up to 27, so that's good, I guess. I just think there's risks in this thing, man. I think it's really risky. I think it's super small float stock, tiny float. Yeah, so small float, big upward movement, you know, questions regarding internal management. I think there's just risks, to be honest. But who knows, man? Who knows? It was only slightly more exciting than watching paint dry. 100%. It was a really boring meeting, to be honest, man. Like it was very neutral, as expected. Honestly, I'm more excited about Powell speaking next Thursday. Minor infraction compared to the other dumps. Yeah, but are you holding it, Prime? Are you holding Supermicro right now, brother? Is the real question here. You know, like you might think it's a buy, but are you holding it? I guess. Yeah, I think it's risky. It's big risk, big reward. I think it's down a lot, so I think it probably has some like arguable extension on the downside or on the downside, and maybe we get like a bounce. It's possible, but it's also possible that this thing just turns into a massive dumpster fire, in my opinion. And so it's big risk, big reward, and it's not something that I necessarily want to invest in. Again, I'm not telling anybody to buy anything. I see short-term short signals and long-term buy signals, longer-term buy signals in terms of daily. Like on a 5-minute chart, I see some buy signals. On a 1-minute chart, I see some sell signals. And so I'm not claiming to know. This is just straight up guesses here on the S&P, the Nasdaq, the Dow. But that's what I see right now. And we'll see if that's correct. I really have no idea. Yeah, so a lot of the chat rooms are saying traders were taking this week off, not wanting to deal with the volatility and uncertainty regarding like the Fed decisions and the meetings and everything going on there. And I think that makes perfect sense. Like there's just a lot of crazy stuff happening in markets. What a pop up on the E-mini and the Dow. Yeah, so the last few moves have been pretty low volume too. Yeah, Yeah. So I'm looking at the volume. It's pretty limited, to be honest here. Like, we're gonna draw some levels out on the NASDAQ here, like we always do. Let's go ahead and draw some. So I think we got major level here for sure. Here, let me get rid of this. I want to do a horizontal chart, actually, horizontal line. I think this is definitely a level here. Yeah. I think we can probably do another one here. I think we definitely have at least somewhat of a level towards this top of the range here. Yeah. So those are the major levels that I'm seeing here. Maybe something here too, but I think this one's a little bit more ambiguous. We also might be able to argue we got one. Hold on. Here. Yeah. All right, so that's what I see currently. Usually when we rally the day of FOMC, we sell off the day after. Yeah, but have we arguably rallied, I think? I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, I'm going to buy the S&P right now. On a short-term chart. We're going to try to take a risk. Oh, this one today. We'll take 3 contracts here. And then maybe add some on a dip. Try to be patient. Yeah, we got University of Michigan consumer data coming out this morning. Yeah, it's pretty boring. We got University of Michigan consumer data coming out early or late this morning at 10 a.m. All right, so we get this is a challenge account, so we'll play with this. We're gonna buy into it too. It's kind of a risky place. We're right around the top, but we're just playing with some of these alerts, and I'm kind of testing some of these alerts too. What about the Canada news? We watched some of the other economic data from countries outside of the U.S. But not a ton, in all honesty. Like, we watched some of it. Like, we watched Canada ECB specifically, and sometimes like China, right? But not all of it. Like, some of it just doesn't matter, right? Some of it just doesn't matter. Like, today we got Canadian unemployment. It's expected at 6.6. We'll see. But that's probably not going to move U.S. markets, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. This was a 1-minute chart. Yeah, I don't know if that's a really good buy level. I'm going to build some levels here, though, on a 1-minute chart. We're going to build the levels on a 5-minute chart and then watch them potentially on a 1-minute chart. I think this is one. This is another. This is definitely one, too. All right, so I don't mind these levels. Yeah, this is a longer term trade though, EB. So like, and again, this is a challenge account, so I'm going to be playing these a lot more loose. Like, one of the things that I see on the chat sometimes is like, I'll be playing around on these challenge accounts and then I'll lose And then people always try to tell me all these different things I'm doing wrong. And I get it. Like, I get it. But when I trade my actual account, I just trade much differently than this. And so if I lose this, it's not the end of the world. I'm playing it off of this major support level, as well as like I have some other bullish alerts that I've seen. And if this doesn't work, it's all good. It's $50 basically. We break out of this support level. We got a really nice exit too. And so that's the plan right now. Fidelity for Top Step. I don't think you can, Benito. Not 100% sure though, bro. Maybe. I don't freaking know. Don't trade PAL, NFP, and interest. Am I right? You might be. I mean, I think it's risky to trade those things. You can trade the outcome and the volatility, but taking a big position ahead of them and trying to ride some type of big move from the event is definitely risky. And this is how I know it. Every single FOMC meeting, we got a handful of people that come out telling me the market's going to crash from it or something, right? I see people, every single one, be like, oh, the market's going to crash, right? And that shows me that they're pretty new to like watching FOMC meetings. Like if you never watch it, if you never watch an FOMC meeting, you think each individual one's the biggest one ever, the greatest one it could ever be, right? Usually, especially this last one wasn't true, right? Like I think we're seeing the hangover from the last one, which was the first cut in 4 or 5 years. So that's what we're seeing now, where less people are tuning into this one because, you know, everybody already knew we were going to cut 25 today or yesterday. And so that's, we're kind of seeing like a little bit of a hangover from it. Yeah, I think Top Step's the best one, Prime. I mean, I'm biased. And so like they're a partner of mine. And so like I'm biased, of course. But I think in terms of like the rules, 0 commissions on Top Step X, like Top Step X and Top Step are the single best ones you could use. 0 commissions on Top Step X. Like you can trade micro contracts once you're funded and have 0 commissions. That's a powerful freaking thing. Powerful freaking thing when you're day trading, especially. That's like a huge thing. And so if you want to check it out, there's the link. I'm biased. I genuinely think the rules are the best. There's no DCA rule. They're just a great way to learn. But again, I'm biased. If you want to check them out, there's the link right there. Yeah, Berkshire is still one of the strongest companies in the market. All right, we're getting ready to probably have to cut this. Yeah, I look at DJT like it's a gamble stock. I really do. I look at it's a big gamble stock, bro. This thing can go up big, down big. I would just be very, very careful, right? What happens is you get these stocks that go up really big and people get all gambly minded, like they just want to gamble away at it, and then they end up losing money, and then they add more to it. It's just these are companies right now that can make ridiculously large swings that you don't necessarily want to get stuck in. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut it. It might bounce right off of our level here, but we'll come back another day. Yeah, so Canadian job numbers did just come out. They showed up at 6.5%, slightly lower than expected at 6.5. Nothing shockingly lower, though, at 6.5. Honestly, the market is reacting to it a little bit. Slightly better than expected unemployment numbers. To my Canadian brothers and sisters. What do you mean by hangover? I mean, people got so amped up for the last Fed meeting last month or September Fed meeting. First rate cut in 5 years, 4 years. People got so freaking amped up for this thing that the next Fed meeting, which everybody's already expecting a rate cut, was less. People were less excited for. They were kind of hungover from the first one. Like they all tuned into the first one, the first rate cut in September, and now for the second rate cut, people just care less about it. Right? That's my theory, at least. Yeah, SPY's coming back down. Market's honestly really freaking boring and choppy today. And a big little run back up here, a little retracement. Maybe it holds. Yeah, look at that retracement back up. No, I mean, you can trade some currencies on Top Step. I don't know if you guys know this, but you can trade some currencies here. It's just not something I ever generally do. I stick with what I know, which is mostly indexes. Yeah, so I stick with mostly what I know, which is indexes. We got less than an hour before market opens. Yeah, I couldn't imagine day trading on mobile. We trade a little bit of crypto, not a ton though. Yeah, S&P is just so slow right now. Nasdaq's falling some. Super micro is still pretty flat. Where's gold at? Yeah, I think the market's all hungover from the election. 200%. I absolutely agree. I think people are just tired of watching stressful stuff. Next week we'll probably get a little resurgence in interest. Like next week we got CPI inflation data, right? So inflation data after everything's said and done is going to be incredibly interesting for most people to pay attention to. So yeah, I'd watch that. Clean spark, it looks like it's not halted. It looks like it's just extended hours and there's no movement. Yeah, gold. I'm looking at gold. Gold's very flat, honestly. Maybe I should trade the choppiness in gold, in all honesty here. Gold is sideways. What's up, South? I like to trade gold off a 5-minute. Well, gold, like, look at gold right here. This is incredibly flat and choppy and sideways and neutral. Maybe we'll get some better stuff there. Hey, what's up, Fox? Yeah, we're just sitting tight. We're waiting here. Again, remember, Chad, I do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. Not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Always make your own assessment. Trade responsibly, guys. Do not copy me. Yeah, so maybe cutting my S&P trade was the right move. We're just touching the middle range here. We're right at this resistance level. That's a good sign if we're respecting that resistance. Wait, hold up. You're not giving financial advice? Dude, I suck at trading. I'm not the greatest trader ever. I'm the top 3 worst trader on YouTube, for sure. Top 3 worst trader of all time ever in the world. Definitely top 3 greatest of all time also, but none of this is investment advice. I'm not liable if you lose. You always got to make your own assessment. Trade smart, guys. Definitely have no idea what I'm talking about. And where's Palantir? Palantir's been up big the last couple of days. So Palantir up to 55.30s here. So Palantir's been up big. S&P, Nasdaq both rebounding back up here. We're just not moving at all right now. Maybe it's too early. We got less than an hour before the open. Maybe it's Friday. I don't know why. Maybe we ain't got no job and we ain't got ish to do but trade because there's no freaking movement today, guys. It's boring. What's the biggest loss you've ever made in a single day trading? Definitely in the thousands for sure. It's probably when I first got started trading. I lost thousands. I thought I was going to get rich. It would be a market guru wizard. Again, really, genuinely, the market's not moving. I'm going to start to short gold, to be honest here. Daily chart, last 2 low volume. Yeah, I'm looking at everything else. We're moving down. Look at the SPY. So here's a pretty big support resistance level in the SPY. Let's see if it holds. I'm trying to see where the previous closing price is. I'd love for that thing to pop up on my TradingView charts. I love the previous close. I really do. We're now coming back down here. We're right at a very neutral level for most things. I'm going to put a 1 minute chart on the E-mini. A little bit better chart here, but man. Yeah, we do have some other stuff going on, but gold coming back up a little bit now. Moving inversely. There's the SPY breaking lows. Do you have thoughts on long-term bonds? Bonds are interesting. The bonds market is interesting. So I'll teach you guys how to look at bonds. Right? Like bonds market is interesting because with bonds, you have to understand this. When the economy is, when people are more optimistic about the economy, bond yields go down because the price of bonds goes up, right? And so when people are more optimistic, again, yields go down, bond prices go up as rate cuts happen. As rate cuts happen and people are more optimistic, mortgage rates go down and rate cuts and bond yields mortgage rates go down because of the yields going down, and the bond prices in general go higher. right now we actually saw a small rise in mortgage rates, and that's mostly from pessimism regarding the economy, right? So people are more skeptical economics wise. That's made mortgage rates actually go up. That's made bond yields increase. And bond prices decrease recently, hasn't it? Let me check to make sure this is what's been going on. I'm pretty sure, but y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am. Yeah, bond yields have been going down. I guess on the rate cut news, but yields also have spiked in the last few days though. So like bond yields spiked up to a high of 4.45, 4.47. So bond yields did spike up some here, I guess. And then actual bond prices going down in the last few days. Oh, I guess we're kind of flat, everything. Well, that's what I said was pessimistic. I might have said pessimism, but it's the same thing. Bro, I got too many links going on here. I'll leave that up. So we got Big Papa Powell next week speaking. That's good. I'm just glad something's going on. All right, so big spike back up here. Again, we're not going anywhere. Market's very flat. All right, so bond prices and yields typically respond to economic sentiment because investors adjust their demand for bonds based on the expectation of economic growth, inflation, interest rate policies. So higher interest rates is used to keep inflation in check. So with positive economic sentiment, let's see. When economic outlooks are weak, investors typically respond by expecting lower interest rates, higher bond prices, lower yields, right? And so again, that's basically what I said, right? I said, maybe I might have it backwards. All right, so with positive sentiment, bond prices tend to fall and yields rise. I guess for more demand for bonds, and or negative sentiment, bond prices generally increase and yields decline. So again, let's look at yields. Nasdaq's pushing up some. Looking at yields, you can look at yields for I look at the 10-year yield, which is TNX. 2024, it's slightly green. So yields are slightly up this year, which means that we've had mostly positive sentiment. My guess is from rate cuts. So rate cuts causing positive sentiment. Yeah, I might have gotten it mixed up. What's up, Solo? Well, bonds are hella confusing. And yeah, bonds are super confusing. Yeah, so rate cuts generally make bond prices go up and yields go down. Right? That's not what I said earlier. If I did, I might have had it backwards. But I know I've said this a bunch of times before, where rate cuts generally, bond prices and yields have an inverse relationship. So if yields go down, bond prices go up. And if bond prices go down, yields go up. But I don't freaking know. Top 3 worst economists ever. As a trader, what is the top asset in trading? Well, top prime, it can vary. As a trader, what is the top asset? Probably real estate, you think? I don't know. Top is subjective. I can say I like chocolate cake. You might say you hate chocolate cake, right? It's all subjective. Personally, if we're talking about trading and not investing, It depends. Trading, you're looking for volatility. So like the NASDAQ, NASDAQ 100 is typically pretty good with that type of stuff. I was looking at the options open interest earlier, and it was heavily weighted on the call side. LSU Bama predictions. Oof. I hope we win, but who freaking knows, man? Honestly, we didn't look the greatest in that A&M game, so who knows? Friends change, brother. So R says friendship is the top 3 assets, man. It depends. If you can find a good friend, like I got a couple really good friends that, like one of my oldest friends, I've asked him to work with me, and he doesn't want to, which is great because I've had other friends who people are just insecure, man. People are just insecure, right? If you do well, they get weird about it. If you do better than they do, they get weird about it. Family's the same way sometimes too, right? Like where family can be weird, right? You do better than them, they get weird about it. Like what you notice is that people are competitive, Like if I got a cousin who is not doing as good as me, while my aunt might love me, she definitely wants her son to do better than me. And then when I'm doing well, she's looking at her kid like, why isn't he doing well? Or like, it's this weird dynamic of stuff. But yeah, if you can find good friends, they're valuable. But you got to find people who you got to find people who don't. You got to find people who actually celebrate if you do well, right? And a lot of people pretend to, but they resent success, and that's the hardest thing, right? You got people that say they're your friends, but if you do well, they're resentful about it, right? Like they want you to do good, but not better than them. And so if you start to, that's when they get weird. It's just this weird dynamic sometimes. All right. And again, markets aren't really moving. Honestly, gold's moving up some. Gold's been choppy. What about a supportive spouse? Oh, a supportive spouse is great. You got to have a good spouse too. Like my wife is great. She doesn't go out partying. She doesn't drink at all. She doesn't go out partying. She doesn't want to go on girls trips, and honestly, she can make her own decisions. Like it's, but she likes to stay home, right? She takes care of my kids with me. I help her, of course. Like we share a lot of stuff. I was with her before I made any money, right? So when I met her and started dating her, I was broke, yeah. I like a little friendly competition too. What you learn quickly though is that people who are struggling resent people who do well, right? And not always. It's not a like broad brush term, but in general, people who are struggling resent people who do well. And sometimes blame the people who do well for their own struggles. And sometimes it's their fault and sometimes it's not, right? But this is human nature. How do you do it waking up at this hour? I mean, it's like 8 a.m. It's not super early. I get up. I'm a morning person. My son's the same way. I get energy in the morning. I really do. Like I get a burst of energy as soon as I wake up in the morning. I don't even need coffee. I drink it anyway. But I could wake up, have no coffee, and have tons of freaking energy. My son's the same way. I told my son, I was like, look, you gotta, whatever you do for a job eventually, you're a producer in the morning. Like you produce in the morning, because I can see him. He's exactly like me. He struggles in the evening. I produce in the morning, struggle in the evening. I can't do anything in the evening. I hate those earning streams because I got to freaking stay up late. And by the time those earning streams are done, I'm burnt out and tired. And so, yeah, you just got to produce in the morning when you have the energy for it. Resentment won't get you anywhere. Yeah, I've had people that try to be my friends. Sometimes they meet me You know, like there's this really weird like middle-aged dynamic with guys and with anybody really, where they meet you and they want to network, but their intentions aren't the best, right? And there's always this weird dynamic of like one of them's doing better than the other, like either I'm doing better than them or they're doing better than me and they want something from me, or and so I don't trust people's intentions. I've met a lot of people over time. Sometimes they're my kids' friends or my kids' friends' parents or whatever. And they just get resentful. Like some people just get weird. And it's easier to just not look at MicroStrategy. So is Bitcoin pushing up? So Bitcoin at 77 right now, 77. People that do well also resent people that do well, that do better. Not always. Now, I'm not saying like when I see somebody doing well, it depends on who they are. Like I'm generally pretty happy for people if they do well, right? Do I want to do better than them? Sure. But am I going to hate them if they do better than me? Of course not. And so I think there's a difference. And I think sometimes people that are generally struggling, like they can find reasons to dislike people that are doing well, right? Regardless of whether it's justified. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at Bitcoin futures, but it definitely varies depending on which platform you're looking at. All right, guys, we're waiting here, chat. We're waiting. It's a boring day. The market's hung over from the election on Tuesday. I don't know what we're going to get. We do have Michigan consumer sentiment data at 10. So we do have Michigan consumer sentiment at 10. Not the biggest report. The market honestly hasn't gone freaking anywhere, bro. Like, look, here's a 1 minute chart. In 15 minutes, this has been the whole move of the S&P 500. In 15 minutes, this has been the move. That has been the move of the S&P in 15 minutes. We're not doing anything. We're not going anywhere. It's boring. It's Friday. Yeah, I got some stories from some hater stories, you know. The good thing about having haters, though, is that people realize, like, you know, you use it to motivate you to do well, right? And all the people that have, like, been like that in my past, I've always just kind of used it as, like, motivation. So, if, you know, it's not the worst thing, to be honest, right? If it can motivate you to change your life for the better, good. I mean, the people are still terrible for doing it, but, like, you know. Yeah, looking at the bond trends. Yeah, it's all good, EB. Futures, S&P gonna cook today, no worries. Many people take Monday off. Schools are closed too. Yeah, so what's isn't the bonds market closed Monday? What is next Monday? What is next Monday? Not Labor Day. Not Thanksgiving. Chat, what's next Monday? Oh, Veterans Day. Okay. The stream shows me the candles before the close on my end. Nice. Okay. Thanksgiving's not really my favorite holiday. Honestly, I don't really like Thanksgiving food very much, to be completely real. I don't really like Thanksgiving food. It's not really my style of food. It really isn't my style.
And so I'm just not really it's just not really my style of food, man. It really isn't. Like I don't really eat I like turkey with gravy. It's got to have gravy, right? But it's just not really my style of food, man. Like I like some of it, but my wife, like, she loves Thanksgiving food, and it's just not really my style. I don't know. You know what I hate about Texas? Texas, 5th grade is middle school. And so the amount of nonsense that these kids have to do in 5th grade, like, bro, I couldn't imagine doing half the work that these kids have to do in 5th grade. Dude. Like in Louisiana, 6th grade is where you start middle school. I'm around Houston, yeah. The market's really just not moving at all. Live off of poppin' Doritos? Not really, man. All right, guys. So here's 9 a.m. Again, market's very, 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 very slow. There's not a lot going on today. I'm bored. How are you guys doing this week? Are y'all red or green? I'm definitely red. It's just not an easy week. Definitely red some this week, but yeah. Wait for market open. Yeah, I'm waiting for the market. I want the market to open up some. MicroStrategy up. Bitcoin moving up a little bit. Still close to all-time highs. Not quite there yet, though. You're green? Yeah. The market's so boring. I'm green, but now lost some on pre-market. I wouldn't trade right now in pre-market. Like, it's just not an easy time to trade. It's incredibly boring and choppy and neutral and flat and apprehensive in markets. So again, I would just be really, really careful not to do too much stuff. We're plopping down. Bunch of sell orders. Yeah, I'll schedule the stream. We got let's see what this usually shows up as. Yeah, we got Michigan consumer sentiment. Look at the big pop. I don't know what. Yeah, so we got the consumer sentiment data coming out at 10 a.m. I think it's a big rebound here, back up some. Okay. We're starting to see a little bit of a bounce back, but still pretty freaking flat. All right, so what tariffs and how do they affect you? So a lot of people are looking at tariffs, and a lot of people are worried based off of this election about like regarding tariffs. Tariffs are basically fees that we charge other countries to import goods. So a tariff is a tax on importing goods, usually aimed at protecting local jobs and industries from foreign competition. Say the U.S. government levied a 10% tariff on cars imported from Japan. The tariff would push the price of. So basically, if other companies want to import their stuff here, it's basically like added fees to it, right? It pushes down the economy to a certain extent as well. But do you guys think that tariffs are going to have any type of massive, like big, significant effect, or is it basically just like fear causing this? What do you guys think? Yeah, so we got the University of Michigan. We also have inflation expectations. All right, guys. So let's get rid of this here. Stock market news. Tariffs will certainly cause inflation and then possibly recession 1 to 2 years after implementation. Maybe. The market's so slow right now that we got 23 minutes. Yeah, we're gonna day trade actively at the opening bell too. One could argue that tariffs are a form of. No, I mean, I get it. We're protecting jobs, right? Like other countries, they have. I'm not saying we should do it, right? Because you have to be selective about when you implement like tariffs, right? But having no tariffs would also be silly. I think it's as is most things in life. There needs to be balance. Other countries do a really good job of manufacturing, and so if our manufacturing starts to weigh, then I think it makes sense to maybe implement some. But I don't think they should be super aggressive, right? I think we should make other countries pay a slight amount more for importing their goods here so that we're not just kind of getting run over with stuff, but not make it to where it causes said countries to not import things here at all, because then we'd really be in struggle. We don't have the infrastructure to manufacture a lot of the stuff ourselves, you know. So we want the U.S. to be a good trade hub, and tariffs can discourage that. But you know, no tariffs isn't a good idea either. Is my stance on it. Yeah, no, we have tariffs for sure, 100%. It's not like we don't have any right now. Yeah, 100% we do. Market's bouncing up. Again, market's so choppy. I think a lot of people just aren't even trading right now. The goal is to reestablish American manufacturing. Yeah, for sure. You know, Detroit used to be a manufacturing hub, but you know, again, competitions. Right, 100% straight. Well, they can't raise them too much though. Plus, because then we would just manufacture them here. You know. So like most stuff, it needs balance. This big pop up in the S&P. I'll put the Nasdaq up here too. We've been playing around on a couple ones. Let me see. Nasdaq's popping up some. We got 15 minutes chat until the opening bell. We got about an hour, maybe about 47 minutes left until Michigan data comes out. I don't know if we're gonna get any good stuff, but well, that sounds really nice. But I don't know if that's feasible right now. Gold has creeped up a little bit more this morning, chat. So gold at 2700s. And I know it's boring today. We just don't have much going on. It's Friday. It's the day after the Fed meeting. It's the only big news that we got today. Day after the Fed meeting. We got University of Michigan consumer sentiment data in 50 minutes or so. I'll put a timer up for that so we can kind of see what we got going on. But yeah, so here's the University of Michigan data. I didn't get to watch the Fed yesterday. How was JP? It was boring, neutral, flat, as expected. No big shock. Yeah, nothing big, nothing crazy. Nothing too crazy, at least. Yeah, I use indicators. Right now, we're just kind of sitting tight, though, waiting. Like, I don't have much going on right now. We're looking at some stuff, but yeah, I'm looking at the S&P and the NASDAQ. I do see a couple buy signals here, so we'll buy into this pullback here. We'll plan is to add a couple sides. We'll switch to our micro contracts on our actual funded account at the open or so close to it. All right, so the goal for us is to get into a position where we can add size and limit our risk. Now we can add size. All right, we're at 75, 85, 95. Take a piece of that off now. Lock profit in. Nice little buy signals here, though. All right. Go ahead and lock the rest of that in. Just made a little bit now. It's for Michigan consumer sentiment, Kevin. So it's for University of Michigan consumer sentiment is what it is. All right, I'm going to buy up this down wick too. I love buying up these wicks recently. I have to take full size pretty quickly here, though. That's a big pullback. Let's see if we do what we wanted to do, though. Definitely didn't do what we wanted it to. I'm going to leave this trade up. Y'all yell at me if it goes against me. I'll be back. Remember, it's a challenge account, so even if I lose, it's not the end of the world. I know we're going to have everybody and their grandma telling me all the things I did wrong. Really, I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be back, and I'm going to darishly leave this trade up. I'll be back, guys. All right, we're back. We're not down as much as I kind of expected it to be, you know. uh Yeah, I've been down this whole time. Right now I'm kind of flat though. Look, I must be good luck. Look at me coming back to the stream and immediately bounces back up. I am gonna limit some of my size here. It is locking in losses, but it's protecting me at the same time, right? I could also use it to add back to it. It's just I probably would have made money, but I think limiting my risk there instead of taking like max 5 E-mini contracts, it's just too risky. All right. There we go. Now we'll add size back. 2 contracts. There we go. There we go. You love to see it. Green now. Take more off here. We got 1 contract left. We'll hold the rest break even and very close to cutting it. If it break, yeah, we'll hold out. So, all right, so not too bad. We ended up making money from this trade. You love to see it. I should go to the bathroom more often midstream, huh? No? Double top. I'm going to buy this, though. Just one contract. We're going to take a small little trade here. See if we get a retest of that high. If not, we can cut it. Risk levels right here. Hope you guys caught the video I did yesterday on Top Step where I got funded in 2 out of 3 live accounts. You can watch the full process, trades, all that good stuff live. We did the premiere yesterday. You can check out that video right here. We maybe could have taken a little bit of profit here, but I don't think it lasted long enough. We got 35 minutes before University of Michigan consumer data comes out, chat. We're right at my risk level, and it might have just fallen underneath it. Yeah. What a drop. Here, it's all right. We're still kind of green from that first trade, so we're okay. But look at that retracement, man. Just stop me out right there. Look at that. It's all right. There we go. That's better. we have to get out of that too. Sheesh. Where is the visible volume profile? I want to put that up on my charts. Where's that at? My honestly, my dip buy would have worked here. This candle just a little bit under my risk level, unfortunately, which I think was probably the market maker's intention. That strong buy signal I was talking about worked really, really well too. I gotta start zooming out, just taking longer term trades. Yeah, I think we got to zoom out here, look at a 5-minute chart too. Look at that support level we drew right here, man. That was a beautiful support level. Worked to a T. All right, let's see. Let's put up the indicator here. I can't remember where the indicator here is on this chart. Bar style candles. We don't want to change indicators. Okay, that's nice. That shows you where the volume is. All right, guys, we got 3 minutes left. 3 minutes. We're not going to day trade right now. It's too close to the opening bell. We might get too much craziness after the open. All right, here's the opening bell, guys. We will see if we get anything good now. The 1 minute monster up here. See what that looks like. All right, look at that volume surge here, guys. All right, so here's the opening bell. 20 seconds. Honestly, my little 1 minute monster signal is pretty solid. What's a good daily amount to make trading profit wise? You mean percentages or what? All right, there's the opening bell, guys. All right, so look at the support and resistance level we hit up here. So we hit this resistance level. Let's see if we can break over it. The SPY ripping up now. Let's put the NVIDIA chart up maybe. Again, NVIDIA at 149s, 148s. Big surge in volume, guys. Big surge. It is the open, so I would just be very, very, very careful, though. And just be smart here. Look at this big green surge. Wow. Look at that move. Palantir up big. NASDAQ up big. S&P E-mini up big. Dow up big. All right, is the Dow up? Let me see. Dow is down. Is this a 1 minute chart? Yeah, it is. So Dow is down at the open. Weird. So the Dow flushing. I'm not sure why. I wanted to short my resistance level. Look at that resistance level and look how well. Look at that. Honestly, bro, basic support and resistance can be some of the most powerful tools. Just basic support and resistance. Look at that thing. Even if it ends up breaking it. Look at that. Exactly right. Look at my level here. You're welcome. Man. Look at that. We touched exactly to the T. Look at that. I'm never going to shut up about it as well. But man, interesting. Still trying to push up. We're going to wait and let that opening bell movement chill. All right, so we're back up to that big resistance level. We've got 3 minutes past since the opening bell here, chat. How is that resistance level determined? Previous confirmations is what I use for it. But again, like we touched it, we came right back up though. Look at this. We just broke it. Maybe that means it'll hold as resistance here. Or maybe that means if we flush back underneath it. Or maybe it means it'll hold support if we open up a new candle over it. I gotta wait though. It's too early since the opening bell still, to be honest. Honestly, I got this 1 minute monster on TradingView. You want to see this? Look at this. So here's the E-mini. All right, I'm going to put this 1 minute monster indicator that I built up on this one. Check it out. I call it the 1 minute monster. All right. Look at that signal, bro. Honestly, I saw it when it showed up too. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this one here too. This one worked beautifully too. I call this the 1 minute monster. And then look at that. That one worked. Look at that one. Literally called the bottom of this range. Wow. I got to keep testing this one too. Look at that. Bounce, bounce. I got to keep testing it. Look at this bullish action one. I haven't seen a red one, but I guess understandably so because there hasn't really been. Oh, here's a few red ones and those work too. Honestly, I got to keep testing this thing, man. I got to keep testing it. I got a 1 minute monster. I got a 5 minute monster. I got a couple little ones that I've programmed here and built myself. So we're flushing all the way underneath this level here. All right, we're buying this up now. This is a challenge account, guys. We're going to switch to our funded account. We're going to take max size here. There we go. Took some off already. Take some more. We'll go back in max size here. Look at that. Too big of a candle wick for us not to freaking fill.
You know what I mean? Like that's way too big of a candle wick for us not to fill. Even if we end up coming back down to hold the rest break even. I'm gonna go ahead and get out the rest there with another $100. Not too shabby there, bro. So we're up about 4 since the opening bell. I love buying these huge candle wicks, bro. Everybody, like, again, I've gotten these wrong in the past, to be honest. I've gotten these wrong in the past. Now, when I see a big candle wick, especially if the candle's got some time left, we end up at least filling 50% of this. I talked about this the other day. I see this all the time now, all the freaking time. It's not perfect. It usually happens on a 1 minute chart. It's not really, or on a 5 minute chart. I mean, it's not going to happen super easily on a 1 minute chart. On a 5 minute chart, it works very good, very good. And I'm not sure why. It's hard to explain why, but yeah. Look at that whole candle wick filled. So now I'm just chilling here and waiting. I'm not going to take any big positions. 1 minute monster. That's what my girl calls me. SNK says. Great nickname, bro. I'm going to start calling you that. Change your name, you know. All right. All right, guys. We got 23 minutes now until something happens. I'm going to start shorting this. I know it's kind of risky, but there we go. And we're out. We're going to scalp that move too. I usually buy these candle wicks up now, but twice in a row, I can't do it. I can't do it. NVIDIA turning, though, so let's watch NVIDIA. See if NVIDIA retraces back. Watch the NASDAQ. It's definitely a risky trade here. And we're trying to get funded, so like I'm gonna take the risk, and we might lose, and it's okay if we do. All right, do not copy me. This is a challenge account. Do not take the same risk I'm taking here in a challenge account. All right. We got to make our attempt. There we go. Hold the rest flat. All right, we're out. Not too bad. Trading these candle wicks are good. All right, guys, listen, we got 20 minutes left before Michigan consumer data comes out.
All right, so we're still at the top of the range here. So we're still at the top of that line, right around our main resistance level here. It's close. This DJT down again, bro. I keep telling people, dude, I got some family that bought this thing up, and like, dude, y'all are gambling over here with DJT. Like, y'all don't know what the freak this thing's gonna do. Yeah. It's just, it goes up big, down big. It's kind of like super micro semiconductors a long time ago. You don't know what's gonna happen there. I would just be very careful with it, in all honesty. All right, so we're finally getting a little pullback here. All right, so we got a big old pullback here. This is a large pullback, and I would normally buy this dip, but I think it's also risky. I like my levels here that we've drawn on the charts, though. So I do like these support and resistance levels, and we are pulling back to a pretty big support level. But again, I kind of gotta just be smart and safe and trade small. The problem is Nvidia is dumping right now in markets. Look at Nvidia fall here, chat. So the reason we get this pullback is because of Nvidia. Don't get it twisted. Look at Nvidia falling down fast here, man. Wow. All right, so we keep on dipping here. Again, the question is, when does Nvidia start to bounce? I'm going to buy this dip now, and it's really risky to do this. But again, we're trying to get funded on a challenge. So we got to take some risks here. There we go. Taking both sides, both directions here. We're going to get out that as well. All right. Not too bad. Let's see what we get on the rest. We've been pretty accurate with these. Just want to break down a little bit here, see if we get it. This might be our first loss. Yep. Still green on the day, but not as much. We are reeling into this level here. The question is, does Nvidia bounce back? We're into this resistance level. I'm going to start shorting this here now too. I got to take a risk, right? And so it's a little bit different than I normally do, but that's all right. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. Might have no idea what I'm talking about. What a candle. What a candle. Honestly, I don't even know what to do with this. I'm going to limit my size for sure, even though I'm going to be down. Maybe we can retrace. But yeah, just can't mess with it. Too much strength showing up all of a sudden. I wonder why. Let's see. All right, we got Michigan consumer sentiment data in 12 minutes. Man, what a bounce. I'm trying to see what else it's got. All right, we're going to have to switch this. We'll come back to this account. It'll be all good. We'll come back to it. Make sure. Hold on. Yeah. You got to watch NVIDIA here, though, man. NVIDIA is the one that's moving markets. It bounced up a little bit. Let's see if it retraces back down. Take profit in NVIDIA, bought a call option. Yeah, we're starting to get some decreases and stuff now. Many S&P futures is thriving. Yeah, I'm watching the S&P. The S&P broke highs, still moving up a little bit. It's getting close. I don't know if it's lifetime highs. It's not quite there yet for life. Is it? Let me see. Let's see the lifetime highs. I can't remember if it is or not. Yeah, so this is the lifetime high. So we just broke lifetime highs in the S&P. Testing the top of that range again. Let's see what NVIDIA does, though. Again, NVIDIA does move the whole market. All right, we got 9 minutes. I'm watching bond yields as well. Bitcoin falling down some. All right, so we're kind of sideways. All right, Tiny. Remember, guys, we got CPI inflation data coming tomorrow, or coming next week. So next week we got CPI inflation data. We've got CPI, PPI, retail sales, all dropping next week. The 19th or the 15th is retail sales. Thursday, November 14th, we got jobless claims. We got PPI inflation data. We also have Jerome Powell speaking on the economy. 13th, we got CPI inflation data. Veterans Day is the 11th. So we got that stuff going on too. Wait, where'd it go? There it is. So all things considered, next week is a packed, very, very busy week. And in the same account that we lost all that money on, I'll show you this here. We made most of it back here, most of it back. So look, we got this string of trades just now. Kind of an interesting day here where we're kind of going back and forth. We're mostly flat on the day, all things considered on this. We're waiting for the Michigan data to come out. Did my music stop? It looks like it did. There we go. There's mauve. Where did my music go? I guess I exited out of it. All right, there we go. Now we're pushing towards the top of the range. I don't know what I want to do with this one, man. Part of me wants to short, but it also looks like the momentum's on the upside too. We just made it about $100 there. 6 minutes left until consumer sentiment stuff. The volume's following us up, which is nice. But again, we do have Michigan data coming out in 5 minutes, Chad. So just be careful. Yeah, we're in a. I guess I'll show you these trades. So we're in a couple of these here where we got 2 contracts here. Again, these are challenge accounts. So like I'm trying to play the breakouts, but it's also potential choppy range leading into this report. We're kind of flat on this one on the day, all things considered, especially after now. Now we're actually green. Volatile price. All right, not too bad. So here's our string of trades on this account. So not a bad little string here over the last few. 6 minutes or 4 minutes left. So not a bad little string. We'll see what happens, but at least we're green on this one. And we got into another short here. Let's see, put this up. We'll get out the rest right there. All right, so we're up about 434 on this account if you guys want to see it. So again, like, look, we're up 434 on this one. The other combine account, we're at, so 434 profit on this one. All right, guys, 3 minutes. All right, guys, 2.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes. And then we're just going to close it down and come back next week. It's been a boring week, man, outside of it's not boring. Let me clarify. It hasn't been boring. It's been small reactions. So again, University of Michigan consumer sentiment data is expected today at 71 for prelim consumer sentiment. 71 for prelim consumer sentiment. We got 2 minutes before that releases. We'll see if the market moves it off from it. Yeah. Hey, well, if you made money, good. Again, honestly, the market didn't react much to the Fed meeting. It didn't react much to jobless claims. It didn't react much to anything, really, which is strange, right? Next week, CPI should cause a bigger reaction. We got retail sales. We got Jerome Powell as well. So we got a lot of stuff going on next week. But the reactions to everything were small, probably because they were muted from the election, right? The election made it muted. And so I think the election muted everything in terms of reaction. I just don't think we had some big reaction because of the election is what I think. The market range since the opening bell has been pretty flat too. Like there's a 5-minute chart, but like it's a big range. We got up movement, down movement, up movement, down movement. But like if you look at a 1-minute chart here as an example, big range, choppy, flat, sideways, looks like a McDonald's sign. Oh, yeah, it reacted so much to the election that everything else was muted is what happened. Even the FOMC meeting, like typically FOMC streams, we get like 3, 4, 5,000 people. Yesterday, we had like 2,500, which is on the smaller range of normal. But it's still, I think it's kind of a hangover from the election is what I think it really is. I think so many people are so hyped up from everything. It's just kind of a hangover from all that stuff. All right, guys, we got 45 seconds, 45 seconds. All right, 25 seconds. And we did make 400 something on this challenge account today. I don't know what we're going to do on the rest of it. But here we go. Let's see what we get. Again, 20 seconds. Less than 20 seconds, really. I'm going to mute this. This is a little bit late. So this is a little bit late. Less than 20 seconds here. Again, 71 is what's expected. 71. And here we go. 73, higher than expected. University of Michigan consumer sentiment. 73 versus 71, higher than expected. The market's actually negatively reacting some to this, but 73 versus 71 expected, higher consumer sentiment for University of Michigan data than expected. 71, again, versus 73. I think it's Friday. People are just waiting. Market's actually positively reacting to this. Interesting. But yeah, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Listen, I love you all. Y'all have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Check out TopStep if you want to day trade with me. TopStep X, the biggest edge in funding. They give you a demo, test your skill with it. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail, you only lose what you pay for it. In this case, the base one's $49, zero commission. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, currencies. If you day trade indexes, patterns are super, super similar to blue chip stock patterns, and there's no PDT restrictions on here. So no PDT restrictions. One of the biggest edges in day trading alone, especially in funding, is on TopStep. We just made a little $500 trade shorting, fading this big move as well. So we just made a little $500 trade. You can see my P&L on this. We are up $998. So we're up 1,000. We'll see if we can get another $500 or so on this one. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. I love you all. I'll put the link up. Also, check out my video if you want to learn about TopStep. Check out this video right here. So I'll put this video up if you want to check them out. There's the video. Check them out. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Y'all have a great day. Be back next week, CPI week.